so many things I could be doing right now, Linda thought as she pulled into the Rio Shopping Center parking lot. I have emails to get to and doctor appointments to make. I left the house early just for that reason. Instead, I'm here. I haven't heard from Holly Merriweather in months, and in 30 minutes she can still turn my day on its head, she muttered aloud. The words of Brandon Heath's "Give me your eyes" reached a bridge. Give me your eyes for the broken-hearted, everything that I keep missing, give me your love for humanity, Lord, give me your... She reluctantly turned off the ignition. Linda grabbed her gold-studded brown leather purse, fixed her sunglasses, and briskly stepped out of her burgundy minivan. The sunshine was warm, and through her orange-tinted vision she saw a clear sky. She dug through her purse as she walked and pulled out a cell phone to check the time. It was 11:30. She had about 15 minutes until she was due to meet Holly. I guess I could go for a walk and meet her later, she said, stepping up onto the curb. She walked down the sidewalk, past Target, and crossed the street. She walked past Barnes & Noble's with its familiar green doors and thought to herself, I'll need to stop by here sometime this week and pick up Steve's birthday gift. I'll get him a gift card, because I never know what he wants. I'll need a Hallmark card, too. Just another thing I could be doing now. She continued to walk down the sidewalk past the various shops. There was a Bath & Body Works that gave off a scent of perfume and lotions even after she walked a few feet away. After that, there was a Unique boutique. Their displays were filled with outfits that should only belong on the beach. Contrary to general opinion, this Rio had nothing to do with Brazil or the beach. Linda liked to use this to her favor sometimes. When she told people she went to Rio over the weekend, she always received envious looks. She supposed they wondered when a wife and mother of 2 kids, especially a 10-year-old, had time to go to a tropical vacation spot. She didn't, but she liked for them to think she could. The full name was the Rio Entertainment Center in Germantown. On one end, it was an outdoor shopping center with small trees planted along the sidewalk in strategic places. They were known for leaning over the path and brushing people's heads. Stores lined the walk, and the variety was sure to bring in any shopper. Here, there were knots of teenage girls in their short shorts, tees, and tanks. There were also young mothers walking around with their friends, pushing strollers. One of the toddlers waved at Linda as he rolled by next to her. She smiled, and the mother smiled back. You have a cute kid, Linda said. Yeah, he's a handful, though, the mother replied. I remember when my son was that age, Linda returned. One time he was telling me about his favorite toy car, but as soon as I walked into the toy section of Target, he wasn't happy anymore and had to have a new one. Poor boy would sulk until I gave in. I rarely did, and so he was miserable the entire time we were there. Then he fell asleep. That sounds like Henry. So how old is your son now? 10. He's at soccer camp. I'll be picking him up in... Linda dug through her purse and pulled out her cell. It was 11:37. 8 minutes until she was meeting Holly at the AMC parking lot to give her a ride. An hour. It ends at 12:30. Mom, I want to see the train. Ducks too, little Henry interrupted. He reached up and pulled on his mother's arm. A fit was about to come. Linda supposed his mother knew this, because with a sheepish look, the mother walked away, pushing the precious child stroller towards the bridge and his train. Linda chuckled. She walked up to the bridge and panting slightly at the steep incline. When she made it to the middle, she breathed a sigh of relief and walked out over the railing. The lake was still and glassy. Rio's well-known heart-shaped fountain was there. Families and paddle boats smiled as they pedaled together. Geese and ducks glided by in groups of 5 or so, and the swans were also gliding, but in a superior way and far from the other birds. Linda noticed that one of the families was a mother and her daughter. The girl was about middle school age. Things are so easy when children are young, she told the geese. The stage when little girls want to grow up and be like their mothers. Then they become teenagers and want freedom. One of the geese stuck his head under the water. Linda took this as a sign to continue. It was that way with Holly. One minute, my daughter was excitedly telling me how much she liked science class when they learned about the body. She would go on about the blood, brain, bones, and other things. At the end of high school, she started talking about working for a medical degree and becoming a doctor. She wanted to try for a college of medicine first, but I told her to start at community college before she made any large commitments. Maybe I should have let her decide. By the end of the first semester, she was done. College didn't fit me, she claimed. She started online college. She sat by the computer every day, wearing her headphones and furiously writing notes in her notebook. That was the first 2 months. A scuffle began between the two geese that Linda was watching. She imagined they were fighting over food. The large geese began flapping their wings, aggressively honking and hissing at each other. One of them took off into the air and flew across the lake. The other seemed to forget about the meal and took off in pursuit to finish the fight. Linda watched the scene with amusement. Even geese can have attitude problems, she thought. I wonder if they're related. She thought it was likely. With her audience gone, she pushed away from the bridge she was leaning on and started walking forward towards the end of the bridge. She reached a courtyard with metal benches. A number of metal animal figures were placed throughout the radius. Linda sat next to a bench accented by a large, shaggy bear that took up half the space. She checked her phone. 2 minutes to go. It's time to pick up the pace. Linda got off the bench and walked quickly. She had a block's worth of walking to do in the course of 2 minutes. Linda wasn't excited about meeting her daughter, but she wouldn't tolerate being late. It was a bad example. She fixed her eyes on the glass doors of the same colored building and pumped her legs. It took seconds to feel a burning in her thighs. She reached the theater and powered through the doorway, muttering a thank you at whoever opened the door. After passing a poster for the latest horror film, a PG-13 romance, and an animated kids one, she was in the main part of the lobby. Holly wasn't in sight, and Linda breathed a sigh of relief. Then she started panting. She collapsed on the nearest bench. She sat there for a few seconds to catch her breath. Her cell phone pinged. She had a new message from Holly. Linda tapped the screen, and her mouth dropped. It was like Holly, short and bubbly. Hey, Mom, how are you? No need, Sim's coming. I'll get a ride. Thanks for the offer. It ended with a smiley emoticon and was signed XOXO Holly. That girl, Linda thought viciously. I walked here for nothing. Gonna send a reply and tell her exactly what Mom? A familiar voice said. Holly was walking towards her. Her wavy blonde hair dusted her shoulders and she was dressed in a sky blue top and faded jeans. What made her unmistakable was how she walked, with a little skip in her step and a bright smile lighting up her face. She's had that same smile since she was 2, Linda thought idly as she stood to meet her. Wow, it's so great to see you, Holly continued and stopped in front of her. She gave Linda a big hug. How are you? Oh, and how are Dad and Micah? Linda had to crack a smile. I'm fine. Besides being tired from the walking you put me through, she thought. Micah's great. He's at soccer camp now, and I'll be picking him up soon. Your dad is well, too. Are you coming to his birthday? Of course, Mom, I wouldn't miss it, Holly said. Silence followed for a moment, and Linda thought about asking about the text. Holly beat her to it. It's great to see you, Mom, but I'm surprised you're here. Didn't you get my message about Cindy? Linda nodded. I just did. Holly's eyes went wide. Oh, Mom, I didn't realize. Linda sighed heavily. It's fine. It wasn't too much trouble. No, Mom, I feel awful. Do you have somewhere you need to be? Holly gestured towards the door. If so, I totally understand. I'm picking up Micah soon, but I can still give you a ride. Are you sure? Holly looked uncomfortable, and she shifted from one foot to the other. Linda hesitated. This was her chance to bow out. She opened her mouth and surprised herself. Yes. Holly beamed. Okay, great. The two women walked toward the door. Linda felt her daughter put her arm in the crook of hers. It's been a while since we walked through Rio together, Holly remarked. Yes, Holly, it has.